Hey everybody, it's Dana and welcome back. Today we're going to be shaking things up with a shaker card. So I'm using the Hero Arts Happy Birthday cover plate, and I'm also going to be using some colorful cardstock. We have Cherry, which is so pretty. We have Papaya, we have Canary, we have Meadow, we have Mist, Amethyst, and Azalea. Those are the colors we're going to be using today to shake things up with our shaker card. So I'm going to go ahead and use this die, and it cuts all around the edges. So we're going to get a nice border. I'll run this through my die cutting machine with all the colors, and then look what we have. We have this great stack of rainbow colors that's going to make this great shaker card. Now look, when you look from the side, this card's going to be so pretty because you're going to be able to see all those lovely colors within our shaker card element. Now between several layers of this, I am going to use the Hero Arts Acetate sheets. And I'm actually going to use these sheets twice. So they're large enough that I'm going to be able to place them behind this cover plate and then just trim out what I don't want. So for this card, I'm going to grab maybe 2 or 3 layers, stack those up, put a piece of acetate between them. And this way it's just going to give me a little bit more of a depth look when you're looking down through the card. You don't necessarily have to use 2. I just decided to use 2 for today. So let's go ahead and start stacking up these layers. So for my medium today, I am going to be using the Hero Arts Precision Glue for this. I like this because it has a fine enough tip that I can get all the way around these little pieces. And just make sure not to add too much glue, because when you start adding your acetate, you don't want that glue residue to be pouring out everywhere. Now I wanted to mention really quickly, over on our blog, a blog named Hero, we have a December challenge, and that challenge is to make shaker cards. So we're going to shake things up a little bit. The design team has done a phenomenal job of sharing their shaker cards, and we would love for you to join in as well. So all you have to do is go over to a blog named Hero, and I will actually put the link below so you can go ahead and join in on a challenge. Now, they're going to end up picking 2 winners. They're going to be giving away a $50 gift card randomly to one person who plays along, and another $50 gift card to one of our favorites that we see during the challenge. So make sure to head on over. You need to enter by January 1st at 5 p.m. Pacific time to be eligible for the giveaway. All right. Now I'm going to use my little scoreboard here, and this is going to help me line up each layer. So anytime you have to line something up, I would suggest using one of these kind of devices, or something where you can tuck your card bottom piece into a corner, and it just makes it so much easier to stack up any kind of dimension that you need on your card. So I'm just going to quickly go through this and line up each die cut one on top of the other. Again, I'm using that wet adhesive, and the choice of using the wet adhesive also allows me a little bit of wiggle room in order to get everything lined up. Now, since we're getting to the point that we have some thickness on this, this is where I'm going to go and start adding in that acetate sheet. Now, again, I'm using 2 pieces of the acetate. You don't necessarily have to do that. I just felt like it would make my card a little bit stronger and also give me a little bit more of a visual depth. So again, I was able to use that corner of that score buddy in order to line everything up. And I am going to use my Hero Arts tweezers to clean up any extra glue. Now all I have to do is trim down the rest of this. Now I did speed this up obviously because it was just layering one piece after the other, but I did want to show you how you could do that. Here is my last piece here, and I went ahead and put that acetate on there. And now I can line up my last layer, and look how pretty that is. By using that corner there, I am able to get everything lined up. Now on this last one, I'm actually putting an adhesive on the bottom piece, and this is just going to allow me to go ahead and just lay the heavier piece right on top. So again, I can line that right up, press that down, and I'm not pressing too hard at this point because I don't want any of the glue to kind of ooze out too much. But if you do get some glue residue, all you have to do is use your tweezers. And also, once the glue dries, what's so great about these sheets is I can just kind of rub off any residue that I have, and it cleans it up beautifully. Look how gorgeous this is. You can see all of those rainbow colors, and it's going to make such a pretty card. Now I have a white card base, and this is made out of the Hero Arts Dove White, and I want a gradient look behind my happy birthday cover plate. So what I'm going to do is line this up on the opposite side of the card part of the card rather, that is on the left of the fold. And I'm taking a pencil and just marking out where I need to lay down my gradation of color. And I can do that by using those pencil marks. It's going to make it really, really easy in order for me to get my color down. So I did go in and I grabbed out the matching ink color so I can go ahead and do some ink blending. So I'm going to start with my red, but I am going to grab a piece of masking tape to kind of protect my back piece. Now all I have to do is do some ink blending. Now I would tell you, we do not need to be perfect here. As you can see, I jumped right from my cherry right to my lemon drop ink because adding those two colors together is going to give me the orange that I'm looking for. So just keep that in mind as well. You can do a rainbow look by adding colors together that when you mix them, they end up being the third color that you might be missing. I am going to add a little bit of that cherry to the bottom so I can get like that pink when I mix it with my purple. And again, I'm using the colors that are coordinating with the ink. Besides the yellow is the lemon drop, and I used Canary. So I can go ahead and push that out the way, and then I'm going to come in with my green. Now between the green and the purple, I wanted blue, but it wasn't really showing up that well for me. So I went ahead and I swapped out my ink to Deep Ocean, and that's going to give me the blue I'm looking for. And it's also going to allow me to kind of darken up that purple as well. Now I will go back through all of the colors, blending everything out, and this does not have to be perfect. So let me say that this does not have to be perfect because remember, we're covering this up with the cover plate. So I'm going to go one last time with that beautiful purple and blend that in so I can get a nice shade of pink towards the bottom. So once all of my ink blending is done, I have a beautiful background. Now you might look at this and be like, oh no, look at the green. And don't worry, I promise you this is going to be fantastic. Because look, once we put the cover plate on it, you don't see it. That is the magic of using these cover plates. All right, I'm going to clean everything up. And before I put my card together, since this is a lot of ink on the top of this card panel, I do want to dry this back. I am going to be careful first to remove that masking tape because it protected the back of our card so nicely. And I will go ahead and heat set this. Once this is heat set, I'm going to come back in with my panel, and now I need to start adding in my shaker elements. So I have some thicker kind of chunky sequins, and I'm also going to put in some little white or clear pearls. Now when tapping this in, obviously these letters are a little bit small, but I'm going to give you a little bit tip. If you're using any of this chunky kind of glitter, when you put it on there, it might have a tendency to want to stick to your cardstock. So a great tip is once you get all of that into the little areas that you want it, in order to clean that up so that when you put your glue or your panel on the back of it, it doesn't stick everywhere, get a dry paintbrush. Now, if your paintbrush has a little bit of static, you can fix that as well. Just go ahead and grab your, we use these like an embossing buddy. It's like talcum in a little pouch. Dip your paintbrush in that to remove the static, and then you can go back to wiping in all of that glitter, or if you had sequins that was sticking, it just kind of cleans up the back of your card nicely before you put it together. So as you can see, I'm eliminating a lot of that overflow of that glitter, and I'm making sure that it stays right in the wells. Now, once I get this completed, I did want to add a few gems to this. Now, I don't want to add a lot of gems, just a few. And I chose to keep these clear so they don't interfere with the color panel that we're putting on behind it. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually load up on color here and have your sequence gradiate down with your cardstock. But because these areas are really tiny, I did not think that was necessary. So we're just going to use the clear ones. Now, for a little bit more dimension, you don't necessarily have to do this, but I did want to have a little bit more height to my card here. I'm just using some thin strips of double-sided foam tape, and I'm going to go ahead and place that around my card and in between all the little bits. Now, if you're using a thicker sequence, I highly recommend that you do this. So when you shake your card, it's going to shake and the sequence is not going to be stuck down. So if you do have any sequence that rises kind of above your letters, do make sure to add foam tape to give your panel some height. So again, once you shake your shaker card, your shaker bits are going to shake. All right, once I have all of those down, I can go ahead and use my tweezers to remove the backing of this. Now, I'm using the tweezers, one, because it's going to help me not get all of my glitter bits all over my desk. So it allows me to kind of like hold down on certain areas while I pull back the tape. That's just my tip, y'all, because I know sometimes when I go to do this and I go to pull off the backing of that tape, my shaker bits will start to move. So just go ahead and grab your tweezers and it's going to make life so much easier. All right, I can go ahead and pull off the last bits and pieces of this, and we can go ahead and start laying together our card. All right, now here it is. Now we're going to go ahead and take that panel that we went ahead and did the blending on. We're going to flip it over and lay it on the back of this card. Now, if you wanted some wiggle room, you could use some glue here, but I'm confident that I can line this up. So I can go ahead and line that up. And once I get it where I think it needs to be, I'm going to go ahead and press down firmly on the back. Pressing down firmly is going to guarantee that none of my shaker bits are going to go flying out. Now when we turn the card over, look how pretty this is. I absolutely love the way this card came out. It is so sparkly and so pretty, and of course it's rainbow magic. So when I fold this in half, that cover plate fills up my card nicely. Now with this style of card, you could add elements on top of this, but look at the rainbow that you see when you tilt the card. And when the recipient tilts the card to the side, they're also going to see the rainbow. Now I did get a little bit of ink, but I'm just going to grab my sand eraser and go ahead and sand that off. All right, once I get that removed, I can go ahead and flip back over. And oh my God, you guys, I just can't tell you how much I love this card. I am going to grab my bone folder to reinforce that crease. And we have this beautiful shaker card. Look how pretty. And I really like having those little clear gems in there because it does not take away from any of the color. And also using the rainbow on the side with the cardstock, it really does make an impressive card. Now, like I said, if you wanted to, you could add elements to the front of this card. I don't think I need it, but I am going to grab some gems and just see if I need to put a few of these on top. So I'm just going to place just one. And then I noticed, nope, I don't need anything else. I think I really just want this to be a really clean and pretty shaker card. All right, everybody, that is a wrap for today. Don't forget to head on over to the Hero Arts blog for your chance to join in the giveaway. Have a fantastic day, everybody, and I will see you back here soon. Keep things shaking and have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone.